Hey there, Danielle Matthews here. I'm coming to you live from Florida. Today is Monday, which means it's book club day. We are on the last chapter of The Yoga of Relationships, which has been a great book, though it's taken us some time to get through it since we did it through the summer, and I had lots of travels and then lost my voice last week. So thanks for your patience as we've moved through this one. If you're joining me live, let me know when you get here. And if you are joining the replay, then let me know you're watching the replay. But this discussion, it was really a beautiful summary, I think, of what this book was all about and the essence of it, which, I don't know, the first sentence here, I think, recaps it very well. And hey, Russ. And hey, Charlotte. He says, any sincere attempt to create a healthy and intimate relationship is guaranteed to bring up everything we've been running from for our entire lifetime. He says, probably many lifetimes. To be in a relationship with others, we must face all that we've been avoiding in ourselves. And I think that is the truth of it. I think that is why so many people struggle with relationships. I think, however, if you have this lens and you realize what's going on, what these triggers when we're, with our loved ones and they're triggering us the most, what they're really helping to reveal and how they can really support us, like relationships are, it's better than therapy, right? It's what's going to actually help you to really, truly expand and become the best version of you and truly get in touch with yourself. And so that was really the essence of this whole book, is talking about how learning to have a relationship with your true self, right? That witness consciousness is what is going to allow for you to unlock the key to healthy relationships with everyone that you meet. And you're going to have to face a lot along the way. So he says, the real complexity comes from having to deal with ourselves. And I just put a 1 in the chat if you agree that in relationships, when it really is a conscious relationship and you're really consciously aware, you understand, like, this is just a mirror. They are just revealing this stuff inside of me. It's like you need to reflect on, why am I actually upset? Right? They didn't do the laundry. They didn't do the dishes. They didn't do whatever. You're blowing up. Why? It has nothing to do with the laundry. It has nothing to do with the dishes. It has nothing to do with what it feels like or looks like in the circumstances, the external environment. It's really about you're getting upset because maybe you're not being heard. Maybe you're not feeling loved, respected. Maybe you're afraid of being abandoned. Whatever it is, it's like there's something inside of you that is causing you to show up and react in the way that you are in this current situation. And so what we need to do is we need to all agree that the complexity here is not in the other person, right? You could get out of this relationship, get into a new one, and guess what? Everywhere you go, there you are. And so now you're in this new relationship with a new person and the same dynamics come up, right? Get out of that relationship, find a new one. Same dynamics. Eventually, you are going to have to face yourself. That's the truth of it. That's what it all comes down to, is you're going to have to face your own junk and then hopefully find someone with the grace to love you through it, right? And to go, oh, that's just this. And they don't take it personally, right? Because you're working on it. So he explains, I love this imagery of these underground seeds that we have. So I'm going to read this and then I'll explain the imagery that I see when he talks about this. He says, understanding life's purpose is to lead every soul toward greater consciousness and freedom from limitation. So understand how you're limited. This is key, is understanding how and where you're limited. To that end, life has a built-in system that promotes catharsis, the process of encountering and releasing everything we have unconsciously suppressed and is now obscuring our divine potential. So we have things that as kids, or just because it was too much at the time, we repress it, we push it down, we push it away, we keep moving forward. It's a great thing because we have to sometimes, but we'll ultimately need to deal with it or it becomes a limitation. It starts to cloud our view and how we receive information, how we feel. He says, without self-confrontation that the catharsis brings, we would be forever at the mercy of our suppressed pain and repressed fear. So I think of it like there are these underground seeds, these ways of being that without the right weather pattern, they will never sprout. And so if you think about your garden, right, you plant seeds. I just planted an herb garden, which did decently well, actually. But it needed the right amount of sunlight and shade and water and nutrients in the soil, right, in order for the seed to sprout. And so we have these things we've repressed, that we've pushed down, that we've put into the subconscious, that we've just said, let's move forward. But they're there. And we don't know they're there. We don't know that they're causing us to look at life through a lens of always not being heard or being abandoned or not feeling good enough or not feeling lovable or whatever the lens is that as a kid we kind of brought along with us, until the right environment, just like my herb seeds needed. They needed the right environment, and then they could grow. So your seeds need the right environment to grow. And guess who creates the environment? Your loved ones, relationships. They create the right external environment so that these seeds can be expressed, so that now you're not at the mercy of them. Now you can actually see them. He says they control our lives in disturbing and restrictive ways when we're not aware. To free ourselves from the tyranny of the unconscious, we must bring its contents out of the darkness and into the light of awareness. This is what we have to do. He says, relationships play a transformative role in the self-discovery process because relationships have the power to trigger the unconscious, unresolved, and non-integrated parts of ourselves. This is what's super important to understand. It's these dynamics will cause these seeds to be triggered, and all of a sudden we can see these parts of ourselves that otherwise we would not have seen. That's the key. And he says, now also understand, they will also reveal some of our greatest and most wonderful potential. It's not all bad. Okay? So otherwise, none of us would want to get into a relationship. It's like, that's just like an emotional time bomb waiting to go off. I don't want to do that. But yes, those happen. But there's also beautiful potential that gets unveiled and unearthed when the right environment is there. Your heart can open in ways that you've never experienced before. All right. So he says, start looking. We all start looking for the pleasure of closeness, but sooner or later, life's evolutionary force brings us the opportunity for deeper and more important work. All right. The opportunity, if you take it, relationship is the primary medium through which the evolutionary process operates. The evolutionary process, right, that we are in right now is not physical changes to the human body. It is consciousness. It is a conscious evolution that we are all moving through right now. In every book that we have read, we've talked about it. In A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, he talks about it. All of them. It's a consciousness that is shifting. That is the evolution that we are in right now. And if you take the opportunity means it's there. It's a door. You've got to just walk through it. If you take the opportunity, every relationship dynamic, every interaction, every conversation, moment by moment in life, you are being offered ways to increase your conscious level of awareness, ways to see the things within you that aren't working and the things that you need to work on. It is going to move you in that direction. He says it's the evolutionary force that is ultimately going to move you there. Remember, at the beginning of relationships, we all have masks. The ego's playing a role. Everything's perfect, everything's fine. But then after a while, the mask drops, right? And the true self comes out. All these things we've been hiding from come out. And that's just the truth of it. He says the more out of touch with our source that we are, right? The more we are in our ego mind and not in the witness consciousness, the more out of touch with our source we are, the more deficient we feel. And the more deficient we feel, the more we need friends and loved ones that we depend on to give us what we think we're missing. Remember we talked about original sin, missing the mark, thinking that I am my thoughts, not realizing I am the witness of them. That is original sin. That is the thing where the yogis say that's the simple truth that when known solves everything, when you realize I am not my thoughts. But the more disconnected you are from your true self, the witness consciousness, the more disconnected from that you are, it means the more connected you are to your thoughts, to the mind, to the ego. And the mind will tell you you need things external from you in order to resolve things internally. It will say, get that perfect relationship, go recreate that perfect memory. You just need this. You just need a kid. You just need, a better boyfriend. You just need blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden you're going to be fine. No. The more disconnected you are, the more it's going to tell you you need things out there. And the truth of the matter is you don't. And that was the whole point of this entire book, is the relationship with yourself, with that witness consciousness, is key. That's the relationship to source, to the divine. He says, We must develop our ability to come from our heart with everyone. Trying to love one or two people while we remain separate from everyone else will never work in the long run. What he's saying is a lot of people get very limited in their love. So when they find someone that they love, they almost get defensive around them and hoard them for themselves. And he says that's the truth of all of us. If you are in your witness consciousness space, it's love. That's what lives there. Love being, not the romantic love. Love is unconditional, all-allowing, non-judgmental, just pure capacity, like the sky's ability to hold whatever weather comes through. It doesn't judge it. It doesn't have preference. It takes rain and a hurricane just as the same as it takes sunshine and a rainbow. It takes it all, just as it is. That is love. Unconditional, all. When do you feel most loved? When someone just unconditionally, no matter what you've done, what you've said, whatever, just loves you, just holds you, just is there, just receives you. That's the kind of love we're talking about. So he says, that is what we need to extend to everyone. And the way you do that is through an open heart. Everything in life is leading you to living with an open heart. When we get into relationship, we think, oh, the other person opened my heart. But the truth of the matter is, you opened it. You're the one that said, oh, based on now how the external world feels, I'm going to open my heart. And the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter how the external world is. You can open your heart at any time. And I encourage you to do it under more circumstances, with more people, and give what you're wanting to receive. That's the key. He says it's kind of like the sun. Its nature, the sun's nature, is to radiate light, give warmth, and provide life-sustaining energy. As a result, everyone who comes into its presence can partake of those qualities. The love within your heart is the same way. Once we remove all the obstructions and we know its nature, we naturally radiate love to everyone that we meet. Therefore, true love can never be exclusive. It's meant to radiate to everyone. In my private sessions with my students, there's a phrase I say almost at the end of every single guided meditation that I give, which is, "You are the emissary of light and love. Bring it everywhere you go and to everyone you meet." All right, because that's what it is. You are that emissary. You are that, in physical form, and so just radiate that. When you radiate that, you give it to yourself and you give it to everyone around you. It lifts everything. It's just absolutely amazing. So he says, to realize this is within us. I'm on page 92. He says, a friend or loved one can mirror the potential of our source to us, but he or she does not create what we experience, right? And this is tricky. We think that the other person created it. They didn't. We did it within us. He says the challenge is first to recognize the characteristics we glimpse when we are attracted to another as our own potentials and develop them into qualities we can access whenever we choose. So what you see in others, like people that say, oh, or think about the people that you admire most. Like if you were to write a list of the people you admire most, maybe just 2 or 3 people, or put it in the chat, who are 2 or 3 people that you really admire. Those 2 or 3 people, if you think about what are the attributes that you admire about them, maybe you don't have to write the person, but what are the attributes you admire? I admire people that are able to speak truth, just effortlessly, that are very, hold themselves, they're very, within themselves, confident. These types of things, when I think about who I admire that. I admire people that have an open heart to everyone they meet, right? These are the qualities that I admire. And if you think about the qualities that you admire, people who have no jealousy, beautiful. I love that. They're all allowing. They're totally open. Think about these qualities that you admire in other people. What is being revealed? People who are trustworthy, beautiful. What that reveals is that's you. That's the highest version of you. This is a really interesting exercise. If you look at what it is that you admire in other people, it's because those are the aspects of you that are trying to radiate, and you need to give them permission. We see it in others and we're attracted to it because like attracts like. It's inside of us as well. And we need to realize that, hey, we think, oh, I need that person around because they externally are like this, right? They're so trustworthy. I want them in my world. Yes, like keep them in your world for sure, but also realize what he's saying. He says, develop these things into qualities that we can access whenever we choose. These are glimpses. What we are attracted to in the other are glimpses of our own potential. So these things are inside of you. You are highly trustworthy. You are someone with no jealousy. That is what's wanting to live out of your heart. Does that make sense to everyone? I think it's just beautiful. Like if you didn't do the exercise right now, do it. Like think about who are you drawn to, and then what the qualities are that you're drawn to. And then those are the things for you to start to cultivate. These are the things for you to start to bring out in your life because it's what's on your heart, right? We're all attracted to different things. It's amazing. He says, I love this. I thought this was like the best visual ever. Nature intends for seeds to sprout and produce their fullest bounty. It also intends for us to discover and manifest our highest potential. Again and again, it gives us opportunities to see ourselves. We do not have to create them. We simply have to learn how to recognize the ones provided. I just think that's so beautiful. Like you think about when you're planting seeds, every single seed has the same potential to become whatever it is, right? Nature gives everyone the same potential. We all have the same potential. And it's like you just need to understand that that is sitting inside of you. Your seed of potential is sitting there. And now it's just consciously starting to manifest that. And I think what a beautiful way to start with the things that you're attracted to in others. Bring that out in yourself more and more. Okay? Oh, I thought this was like an interesting aside. It seemed like sort of randomly in here, but I wanted to draw attention to it. He said, relationships that lack commitment as their cornerstone remain in an elementary phase, so be careful of this. He says they get stuck in attempts to avoid pain. The people involved are willing to stay in relationship only as long as it's easy and pleasurable. The relationships are little more than futile attempts to escape from reality. If love is the absolute reality beneath all our defenses and self-images, a relationship that avoids reality takes us in the opposite direction. So I watch and I've seen a lot of people have very surface level relationships, right? Well, there's boundaries around them, there's stipulations, oh, we're not really dating, whatever. I see that. And what he's saying is that is a relationship that's in an elementary phase where you're both trying to keep face, right? And create this beautiful but fake sense of like the perfect relationship. Like it doesn't exist. You can't do it like that. Okay, so anyway, that was a little aside. So if you really want to dive deep, if you really want to grow yourself spiritually, personally, like you can't just have these elementary relationships. You got to go all in. You got to commit. All right, and then that's when things get interesting. The masks fall off. Okay, so it's key to understand the real obstacles exist inside of us. And he says discomfort, responsibility, and commitment are the things that help us in revealing those things. So commitment, right? Not having an elementary relationship, but committing to the relationship, being responsible, and discomfort are the things that actually allow us to grow most. We need those things. It's just like your muscles. They need a little bit of strain and stress and struggle to get stronger. You need that too, mentally and emotionally. You need a little bit of pressure, a little bit of discomfort in order for you to grow stronger mentally and emotionally. All right? It's just necessary. But the real obstacles exist in us. Always, 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 in every moment. If you take nothing else away from this book, it's like in every moment, every interaction, every conversation, all of it, whatever you're bumping up against is something inside of you. Okay? The obstacle is always in you. You can always choose to open your heart. You can always choose that no matter what happens, right? Someone can be rude and disrespectful, whatever. You can open your heart. It doesn't matter. You have that choice. External world plus internal response is your reality. Your internal response is up to you. All right, he says, regard all relationships as opportunities to further your own personal growth and spiritual development. I think that is the summary of this book, okay? Regarding all relationships as opportunities to further our own personal growth and spiritual development. And it's what it all boils down to. He gave a few like keys: commitment, practice, containment, compassion, surrender, all of that. But I wanted to end with how he says we should live. All the different relationships we find ourselves in are not really separate after all. Ultimately, there is only one relationship for any of us, and that is the relationship we have with the self, right? The witness consciousness. We may play many different roles in our lives, but each becomes Dharma, the highest and truest path, when we use it to bring about deeper integration with Source. Again, using every moment, every role we play, every relationship we're in, using it to deepen our own connection with the truth of who we are. So when we get triggered, going, oh, that's who I'm not. Who's upset? The thing that I'm not, my ego mind. Who am I really? The one witnessing it. Okay, do I need to get pulled into that reaction? No. Right? It's that on loop over and over and over again. And of course, meditations and the different things that I teach all connect us more deeply, to our true self to help you. The final thought here, he says, concentrating all of our efforts toward personal growth, dedicating our lives to the service of others, and surrendering it all to the divine is truly our return to the soul. I'm going to read that again. Concentrating all of our efforts towards personal growth. So every interaction in every moment is just about your own growth. Dedicating our lives to the service of others. So being present, serving the people in front of us. And surrendering it all to the divine is truly our return to soul. Surrendering it all to the divine, meaning I have the right to action, but not to result. I will do my best, but I will let go. I will surrender to however it is meant to unfold. That's the key. When every act is performed with devotion to our higher self, this relationship is consummated. And he has these words in Sanskrit, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, which essentially means, thy will be done, Lord, not mine. Right? It's just complete surrender, saying, okay, I'm going to do my best to connecting with my true self, to allow myself to continue to grow, to serve the people that I come across, but to let go of how any of it plays out, because there is a stronger will and a bigger mind at play, and that is the universal, right? That can see far beyond what we, as one little single player, can see, and is connected to something much greater than our own little minds. All right, so how do we like this book? I know this was probably not one that you would have picked up otherwise, right? But this is my teacher, Amrit Desai, her dad, Amrit Desai. He is my neighbor. He runs the ashram here and just has beautiful, beautiful insights. So thank you guys for spending the time having the conversation here. And if you would like to continue with book club, I think I have some travel coming up. Like a couple of weeks in September and things, so we probably wouldn't pick up again until October. I have some ideas for some books, and totally open to your ideas as well. So perhaps we will have that discussion in our Telegram chat and see what we want to do next. Charlotte, I'm glad that you liked the book. Yeah, it was a good one. So any questions with anything that came here? Very eye-opening. Yeah, isn't it, Karen? I know. It's so simple. This was like a simple little book, but goodness knows you could read it again and again and get a lot out of it. And maybe, think about that relationship I told you to bring into your mind at the beginning of this. Have you gained insight to how to change the dynamics of that relationship now that we're through this book? Remember, I told each of you to think of one relationship that wasn't working, was kind of causing problems. Has this brought insight? I hope so, which is that there's nothing you can really do with that relationship except work on you, which of course is counter to what we want to hear. We want to hear like, oh, you just need to say this or do this and it will change them. We can't ever change anyone. So it's just about, well, what are they revealing inside of me? That's my work, and work there. And then express gratitude for them creating the dynamics that they created to reveal this unfinished stuff inside of you. That's the key. All right. So October sounds good to everybody. Enjoy the rest of this month. Enjoy September. We'll figure out the book. We'll all get it in our hands. We can kick back off in October. And I look forward to it. Of course, invite anyone to the book club. I would love to have them. And I will see you guys over Telegram. All right? Have a good one. Yes, good way to start the week. I agree, Russ. Thanks for joining. I appreciate all of you. I love doing this. I love that you all are here. I love these kinds of books and having conversations with them it's just like this all's all about conscious awareness for all of us increasing. And I think these conversations are the way to do it. So lots of love, everybody. I'll see ya.